guys, Dan from Your Guitar Academy here, and we're now back doing Jimi Hendrix soloing. And as you heard from that intro part with the wonderful band, thank you Camille, thank you Harrison for being amazing players. We're now doing the solo in Hey Joe. There's a lot to go through in this solo, so we're going to really just dive straight in. But fundamentally, the core thing to understand is we're very much using our E minor pentatonic for this whole thing. And it's all in that box one position. It's a great place to be. This is Hendrix's favorite. I mean, it's very rare that he needs much more than this to create amazing. I think that's why I love this solo so much, because it's just such a diverse, melodic, beautifully written, creative and virtuoso solo all in one go, and it's just in those just in that box, 5 notes over and over again in that one place. It's just genius. Anyway, let's kind of go through it. So just so you know, I'm using IK Multimedia for my tone here, so I've got a really cool kind of Marshall-y style amp. I've got a little bit of vibe on here, univibe, which is kind of this like swelling sound. I'm also using a tube screamer on top of that, just for the point of teaching, so that I can get a creamier sound out of this. You might even want to use a fuzz if you've got it available to you, but actually this solo is pretty clean, so I'm just going to just teeny bit of tube screamer just to push it a little bit. So let's get down to it. So the first lick that we're going to be doing is this. Very nice, right? So we're obviously up in this box one, and we start with this big old bend on the 15th fret going up to the 17th fret. There's a little bit of vibrato on the top of that as well. Quite a hard technique to get, but it's in there, okay? So then we're going to go down the pentatonic. So we literally just run down the shape. So 12, 15, 12. And then on the 14, we're going to bend up, down, and then finish on that G note there, okay? I'll do it even slower. Okay, so there's our first lick. We're going to do these in little lick batches, okay? The vibrato on top of the bends is very difficult to get right, so that's something that I would recommend taking your time with. Just focus on the pitch of the bend first. See, I'm a little off. One tone up. And then when you're there, the little wiggle. Notice how all 3 fingers are really solid on that same string, and the wiggling is happening from the wrist, not from these joints here, right? Very like fluid, down, up, down, up, down, up motion for that wiggling. So that's the first lick. The second lick, very similar. Okay, so very similar, but just a little bit different. So same bend at the start. And we come down the same way, but then here we're going to go. So we're going to bend up, then stop the note, and then hit the 12th fret on the B. And then I'm going to go 12, 14, 12, boom, and then down to the root note. Little quarter bend down or up as I hit that root note there. Okay, so those first 2 licks together sound like this. If I'd have actually hit the note right, it's there. But there we go. We get the gist of those first couple of licks, okay? Let's get to the end of one whole bar round, and then I'll put it all together with a drum beat. So then at that point, so let me just do that in flow. So. And then we're going to go. This bit's fun. This bit's just fun, plain fun. So we're literally going to go 12, 14, 12, bam, bam, bam. And we're going to slide that note off. and then hit the low E string. Boom, like that. And then we're going to come back in like that. So we're just going to go through the pentatonic scale from the 12 to 14, 12, 14, 12. It's really interesting, these big slide-ins. Really all you're looking at is where am I sliding to? So I'm sliding to this note here. So, you know, that's what I'm looking at. Otherwise, if I'm looking down here and then I've got to follow my finger up here, it's going to be chaos. It's not what I want to be doing. Instead, as you do the slides, you know, you just literally eyeball the bit that you want it to get to, and that's where it should go. And then we just go through that pentatonic box, coming down to the E. Okay, so that bit there is. It's got a kind of like, you know, a real, what's the word, kind of theatrical vibe about that bit, that you have to go all the way down and all the way back up. But I love that, you know, that kind of theatre of what Jimi Hendrix does. It's just epic. It seems to add to the sound somehow. So there we go, that's that bit there. So what I recommend is just one more little lick and we'll put these all together so far. So the next lick goes like this. So you've got two bends. The first bend, so 15th fret, and it just goes up and stops straight away. Up a tone, stop straight away. The second one then goes up a tone, but wide vibrato. Really want that aggression on that bend. Okay, so remember, guys, that, you know, these techniques are really hard to get down. They do take time, and obviously via our guitar club, we do a lot of work through your pathways, making sure that bit by bit, piece by piece, these techniques get seen to, understood, and so that you're able to properly play them. All links for that are below in the description. Now then, let's put that whole bit together so far. I'm going to put a drum beat on. I'm going to put it at 50 BPM, sorry. I'm going to try and play this solo through to this beat so we get a bit more of a feel for the rhythm of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there it is, okay? Let's do that again, but also this time with a little backing track, right? So that we can hear how it relates to the chords. So I'm just going to put down the chord groove in the backing track. So. There's the kind of that chord groove, right? So ready, 1. I'm going to come in with the solo. 2, 3, 4. And there we go. So super great. I mean, it just sounds so good over every single one of those chords. It's really nicely played, and that's the first half of the solo. We then come in with the next part, which is the harder part, which sounds like this. Love this part. I've used this lick ever since I've learned it, and basically it's a whole shift of the hand position for me. We're still in that pentatonic box, but now I'm losing a lot of double stop sounds here. So I'm barring the 12th fret on the B and the E string, the high strings, and I'm going to go between those notes and my little finger on the B string, but still the 12th fret on the E string. So you get this quite dissonant sound, this really aggressive sound. We want to hit that. And then we hit this bend where, again, we're keeping now 2 notes, and I'm going to do the bend on the 14th fret of the G string and keeping the B string. So we get this deliberately, you know, dissonant sound as you go up through this bend before they match somewhere along the line. And then you do it round again. So you go, first bit is, and then you're going to go. So the second time around, a little bit different. It's just kind of going round the roundabout a slightly different way, if you like. So altogether, that bit is. Okay. Slightly aggressive, all downstrokes, okay? And then you're going to go. So you're going to jump right up here to the D string. Pentatonic. Okay. So that I would group that as one lick. Wide vibrato again there. He loves that wide first finger vibrato. Hendrix does. Absolutely loves it. And then you're on to what I think is probably the hardest lick of them all. This. Okay, so this lick on the surface of things is relatively simple for an intermediate player, I guess, which is that you're doing that kind of bluesy thing of you're going little bend on the 14, down the 12s, and then you're going to hit that 15. But as you bend it up, you've got this really interesting sound where you're going to go up, down a little bit, and then up slowly. So up, down a little bit, and then up slowly. I get it. I think he gets it from Freddie King. We've got a great Freddie King course over on the site, by the way. That kind of, and it's got a lot of vibrato on the top of it as well. Oh, sorry. It's just, you know what? It's a mad lick, okay? Get what you want out of that. It can just be as simple as, you know, that's where I'd start. So he just goes up, down, and then off. Or just, but if you want to really put that extra energy into it, you can do it like that. So it drops and then goes back up again. Or you can just do wide vibrato on the top. Do you know what? I need to listen to it again to emulate what happens on the top of that lick. But at its core, it's up, down, and then that coming back to the 12th fret. Followed by a little other way around the roundabout, which is that we're going to go. So we're going to go up that same bend again, but this time the little finger's going to play. So you're going to go literally 14 bends, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14 with the bends, and then finish on the G note, 12th fret of the G string. So you get this. So those two licks together are. So let's just play the second half of that solo. The harder part, shall we say. 3, 4. There we have it. Rewind that as many times as you need to kind of really nail that part. It is tricky. That is a tricky part. So there we go. We've got the whole solo. So I'm just going to play that all through with the drum beat so we can really get a feel for the rhythms of it. And then there's one last thing I want to show you. So let's just do this solo. So 3, 4. There we have it. There's so much going on in that solo. It's really hard to play and put it all together fluidly. But once you've done that bit there, we're on the next part, which is this awesome rundown. So this is really the end of the solo section, the last thing I'm going to teach today, okay? Basically, the bass and the guitar come together to play this awesome walking line. All this is chromatically leading up to the next bass note. So the simple, going from the C to the G, all we're doing is we're saying we're going to go chromatically up to the G. 0, 1, 2, 3. In time for the change of the chord. So it's like bam, bom, 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 because we've got to get there on time. Same for all the other ones. So here, so from the C, we're going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to be leading up to the D. So we just got to chromatically go 2, 3, 4, D. Then we're going to be leading up to the A. So we're chromatically going 2, 3, 4, A. And then again leading up to the E. Chromatically 4, 5, 6, E. So really slow with the drum beat. That bit is like this. 3, 4. G. D. A. E. Do it one more time. So I'll put the chord in this time. So C. G. D. A. E. Okay. So that's that bit, and if you can play the solo and then into that bit, you've got the whole solo section for this track. Now, just before you go, don't forget that if you want to get really into the Hendrix stuff, head on over to the club and you'll find the Jimi Hendrix player study, all the cage stuff that you need to learn to properly understand this, and just loads of other things, all rooted around the Hendrix style. So do check that out, and apart from that, I will see you in another wonderful video very soon.